Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host Owen. Guys, this video obviously talking about the latest news that the Rangers have offered more shares available for sale. Quite the reason why is not yet known. Anyway, it was revealed earlier today that Rangers will offer 7.7 million new shares. How was this revealed? Well, it was revealed through paperwork that was filed with Companies House. It was revealed, obviously, how many shares and also the price that would be charged for those shares by Glasgow Rangers. Now, what is the situation? Why do they do this? Let's first of all talk about the story, and then we'll talk a little bit about why they might have done this and what the aim might be with the issue of these shares. Now, obviously, our friends, I use the word friends loosely, from across the city have had their say on the matter, but we really don't care what they think, do we? Anyway, it says that paperwork that has been filed with Companies House has indicated that Rangers have offered 7.7 million shares for sale. According to the official documentation, it says the return of allotment of shares document 25p will be paid for each share. That means by selling these 7.7 million shares, Rangers will raise around about £1.93 million. Now, one of the authors of The Price of Football, a guy called Kieran Maguire, spotted this, but suggested that it is unclear whether this is a move by Rangers to generate more cash for Michael Beale to use for player acquisition and wages, or whether this is to generate loans which will be converted to equity on the business. Obviously, this issue of 7.7 million shares is a big story. Now, again, like I said, it is not clear why they are doing this. It comes on the back of the fact that earlier this year, in February, Rangers offered 4.2 million shares for sale, which translated to a total of £1.05 million in cash raised. But for both the official share announcements, however, the nominal value of each share was noted as 0.01 with a value of 0.25, e.g. 25 pence paid for each share. Now, apparently, these shares will carry voting rights and these shares will carry value in the business. It was quoted in the Glasgow Times earlier as saying, the prescribed particulars for both share documents read, the ordinary share shall be non-redeemable, but shall hold rights in respect of voting and shall entitle the holder to full participation in respect of equity and in the event of a winding up of the company. The shares may be considered by the directors when considering dividends from time to time. So obviously they're paying out of dividends to the company. Now, this has caused a great deal of gossip and discussion amongst Rangers fans. Some Rangers fans issuing that we are back to square one and that there is financial difficulties within the club. Now, this certainly does not seem to be the case. From all that has been reported previously, the club is in a very sound financial place. Last time it reported a £5.9 million operating profit. In addition to that, they described that turnover was up to around about £86.5 million on the year, which obviously is below our near and dear neighbours across the city, that Mankey mob in green and white. However, this obviously does raise questions as to why Rangers are offering these shares. Why now? Why this amount of shares? And why this amount of money? Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion around shares, given the fact that Kylie Fox tried to take over the business, when she indicated that she wanted to buy the club, but that was obviously turned down by Douglas Park and obviously a number of others on the board. However, now this new issue of shares does seem to have come on the back of that there is obviously these new shares for sale. Quite what influence these new shareholders will have over the business is unclear, but it certainly seems that Rangers are doing all they can to raise money. Like I said earlier on, that this isn't very unclear. Is it for cash for players? Is it cash for wages? Or is it just a case of raising money to pay equity on loans? What is the reason for this share issue? I'm sure more will become clear when the club make a statement on this. I'm sure that this will come very soon because the club will need to make it clear to fans and to investors as to why they are offering these shares. Nothing causes uncertainty more than the issue of shares with no reason and the issue of more interest in the business from outside. I think, Rangers obviously are in a sound financial place, and the board, no matter what you think of them, I think obviously there has been a certain, what's the word I'm looking for here? A certain unsettling period and a certain distrust of the board from certain elements of the Rangers support, given the fact that obviously we have fallen far behind Celtic at this moment in time. There has been obviously a lack of investment in playing staff, a lack of money being made available to managers. And, that was sort of allayed recently, wasn't it, when Michael Beale talked about the fact that there was more money available to him now than there has been to any previous Rangers manager going into this new transfer window in the summer. So, the pressure is definitely on the board. There's obviously the Union Bears have issued many statements against the likes of Stuart Robertson and Ross Wilson, and obviously Chairman Douglas Park. There was obviously the vote against Park as well by other shareholders at the AGM. So this move by Rangers to issue more shares is clearly one that will cause a great deal of discussion at this point until it is made abundantly clear why they have put these 7.7 million shares up for sale, why they have generated these new shares in the business. Well, Rangers fans, let me know what you think. Why do you think Rangers have offered these new shares? What is the reason for it? Is it a reason to raise more cash for player acquisition and player wages, or is it for another reason? Are you worried about the financial future of this club, or do you believe, as I do, that the club are in a sound financial position? It is just a case of now obviously moving the club forward into a position where we can obviously raise turnover, raise equity, and raise money to officially really push it to compete with our green and white, what's the word I'm looking for? Our green and white neighbours from across the city. I'm trying to maintain a diplomatic position on this one. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. I need to talk about this news, need to talk about this sale of shares, as it obviously is an issue at this moment in time. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll be back to speak to you again really soon here on Glasgow Rangers Nation.